Hey guys, welcome back. Now, most parts of the country, it's getting a little bit cold this time of year, and it's great to have some drills to practice on in the winter. So these are in the comfort of your living room. If you have a little small net that you could put up, maybe in your garage, you have a pop-up net, and even with just a little small indoor piece of turf that you can swing off of, some AstroTurf, that kind of thing. I'm going to give you some great drills. It's going to help you to improve your game. Now, a lot of times I see players practice inside, and they do a lot of slow motion drills. We're doing a lot of pausing. We're trying to work on different parts of our swing. We're hitting into the net, and we really can't see our ball flight. So maybe we develop some bad habits. Maybe we start to hit some big slices without realizing it. And we don't want to find out until springtime when it warms up and we go out and we're slicing the ball out of bounds every time. Maybe we're hitting some snap hooks and we don't realize it. Well, we have to have some immediate feedback. In order to improve, we have to have a clear-cut way of measuring, are we getting better or are we getting worse? And a lot of times indoors, we're just kind of going off of what feels good, what we think is good. Even with a mat, maybe sometimes you're hitting way behind the ball on the mat and you don't realize it until you get back out to some real grass and you're just chunking every shot. So practicing indoors in the winter won't necessarily make you better unless you have some things to give you feedback, and that's what we're going to go over today. I'm also going to include something called variability training. So the research, the scientific research out there shows, most of the studies I've seen, this is going to help you to improve your progress 500% all the way up to 1,000%. So we're talking 5 to 10 times faster as far as how fast you're going to improve as you're working indoors. So we want to improve faster. We want to actually get somewhere. There's going to be some great drills. So the first one I have here is what's called the flat ball. So this is a pretty cool, it's made by Izzo Golf. I think I picked this one up just at Dick's Sporting Goods. I just bought a little pack of 6 of them or so. And this is pretty cool because it's going to give me immediate feedback of where I'm hitting the ground. And here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and throw this on your little AstroTurf mat that you have. And these don't go too hard. I mean, as long as you have something to stop them, it's going to be fine. I mean, it shouldn't, you don't have to have a big heavy duty net or anything like that. Sometimes if you don't have the space to hit a real golf ball, this would be great. So I'm going to lay this on the ground. Now there's 3 different drills. Remember, we're talking about variability training here. The first drill, I'm going to set this up where it's my traditional ball position, kind of off my left ear, logo of my shirt. Now on the first swing, I'm going to go ahead and try to swing over top of this. So when I come down and I hit over top of this, I'm hitting the ball, this flat ball, and the ground at the same time. That's going to kind of pop up like that. It's not going to shoot forward. Or I could even go a little more exaggerated and just completely miss it and hit the ground all the way in front of the ball. So that's going to be our first variable. Once we've done a successful rep of that, now I'm going to go ahead and hit actually behind the ball. Now if we're using an AstroTurf mat, we might bounce up off the mat and come in and miss this flat ball altogether. Or we may just feel like we hit the mat and then hit the flat ball as it's farther forward. But either way, we're going to get some feedback, we're going to get some feel. And then on the third swing, we're going to come down and hit it clean. So it should look like this. The very first one, I'm going to swing over top of it. There we go. You see I clipped the top of the flat ball, but I didn't actually hit it solid. It didn't hardly go anywhere. The second one, I'm going to work on hitting behind it. I'm not going to do that one because it could still shoot off here and I don't want to have to chase it down for this video. The third one, I'm going to hit the ground and this flat ball at the same time, and you're going to kind of hear it spin off into the air. There we go. And it only went probably 15, 20 feet. If you're practicing these in your backyard, they'll be completely fine too. But what I'm doing, the reason I'm varying this, and the reason it helps you to improve so much faster, is I'm developing a feel. I'm learning how to control this golf club and get it to do what I want it to do rather than what it wants to do on its own or whatever, those bad habits start to pop into there. So I'm learning to hit farther in front, to hit farther behind. That way if I go out to the golf course, let's say I hit a couple thin shots that aren't exactly like I want, I know how to get the divot a little farther back. Let's say that I chunk a few, we've all been there before, I know how to get the divot a little farther forward. So practicing over the winter, several months doing this, just a few minutes a day, makes a big difference. Now the second thing we're going to talk about is the same idea, variability training. I'm going to take out a Sharpie. I can use a dry erase marker. If you have Dr. Scholl's foot spray, so it's like a foot powder you spray in your shoe, you can spray that on the club face and that's going to show you where you hit the ball also. For this drill, I'm going to use a Sharpie, which takes a little while to come off your club face, so keep that in mind. You may want to use a practice club if you're going to use a Sharpie. But I'm just going to draw a line, a black line, right up the middle where the 3 lines on this range ball are. So you see that black line is now right in the middle. So when I set this up, I'm going to set this black line up dead square. So if I was going to hit this ball dead square toward my target, then I'm going to set that black line up perfectly with that. Now on this first swing, I'm going to go ahead and hit one off the toe. I'm purposely going to hit it off the toe. There's several ways that you could do this, and we'll kind of go over some different variations of this. Whenever I see people struggling to hit it off the heel or the toe, let's say I'm struggling, I'm hitting it too far off the heel, maybe I even get some shanks. We've all been there before. It's not a lot of fun. But let's say I'm hitting some shanks and the ball's going off the hosel. I'll see a lot of times people start to line up with this ball more and more toward the toe, and then they still come up out of it, they still hit it off the hosel. No matter how far away they get, you know, it's kind of your typical stop shanking it advice. And, you know, before long you're out here like this and you're still shanking it. So we gotta be able to control our club. Remember, we gotta get the club to control, or be able to control the club, get it to do whatever we wanna do, rather than us being the victim of whatever the club's doing to us. So I've got this line on there, and what I want you to do is I actually want you to set up a little bit towards the heel, towards the hosel like that, and I want you to purposely hit one off the toe. So this may be a little bit difficult at first, but eventually you'll get there. So this time, setting up off the hosel, trying to hit off the toe of the club. There we go, and that was well off the toe. I got so far off the toe on that one that it's actually off the grooves. So I really exaggerated it there. I set the ball up here. When I came back down and swung, I hit it way off the toe, really exaggerated. That's completely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. We're starting out by doing the extremes, and then we're going to fine tune it. So this time, I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to go ahead and draw that line down the middle line of my range ball. I'm going to set that up, and I'm going to do the exact opposite of what I did last time. I'm going to set this one up off the toe and hit a little bit off the heel. So make sure you get that lined up correctly so it'll put the mark on there. So now I'm lining up toward the toe. Let's try to go a little bit more toward the hosel. If I shank one, no big deal. That's completely fine. There we go, just inside the hosel. And we can see now, if I get this, sorry, the club face is kind of dirty. I think you can still see that. See how it's inside the sweet spot, that black line right there. So there's the toe, there's my heel shot. Now I'm going to try to hit one in the center. So for the third one, I'm going to line up the club face in the center, and I'm going to try to hit it in the center. So when we first start out, it's okay to line up with the ball heel toe, and really the reason I'm trying to get you guys to do these extremes is to gain some feel and some control on this golf club. We don't need to be changing it this much. So as you get more advanced with this drill, you can set up with the golf ball right in the middle of the face, hit it a little off the heel, a little bit off the toe, and then in the center. So this time, let's see if I can get a nice center strike. I'll do the best that I can here. A little off the toe on that one again. So I'll try to go a little bit more toward the heel. So I was just barely off the toe. You can see I'm probably a 1/4 inch or so, a little bit too much toward the toe side. So I try to work that toward the center. So as you get more advanced with this, you know, I'm using really exaggerated. There's the toe, there's the heel, there's a little bit towards the toe, and I'm gonna work towards center here. As I get more advanced, maybe this would be my toe shot, this would be my heel shot, and then there would be my center one. So I don't have to go to these extremes. But when you're working on it at first, go to these extremes. Try to hit it way off the heel and the toe so that you can gain some awareness of your club face and improve your game quite a bit. So finally, we talked about how to work the ball, our contact, variability training, hitting in front of the ball, behind the ball, get rid of those thin shots and those chunks. We talked about how to hit the ball more off the heel and the toe, try to get it more solid toward the middle of the face. What about our technique? So we haven't really talked about much technique at all. And as you know, if you're a member of the Top Speed Golf website, we have the 5 keys that are the most important fundamentals to the golf swing. So we're going to focus in on one of those, and we're going to take this same variability training. Let's talk about shoulder turn. And as you're in your living room, you know, with the system, I want you to go ahead and get about a 90-degree shoulder turn, even a little bit more if you're flexible enough. Now, we're going to feel this by going to the extremes here again. I want you to make a half shoulder turn to where you're not really rotating at all. Your hips aren't going to move much, your shoulders aren't going to move much, and then you're still going to try to swing on through. So watch my shoulders on this one. I'll go nice and slow so you guys can see this. Back. I mean, really hard to get some speed with that kind of a shoulder turn. It's just too short. There's no way to generate the speed. As I wind up farther, then I'm going to have more time, more room to accelerate the club, making a bigger arc. If I put the same amount of effort over a longer period of time, I get more acceleration, I get more energy into this club. So now, let's take it to the other extreme. Big, long backswing. And for those of you who aren't very flexible, get that left heel to lift up a little bit, and you're going to be able to get a lot more speed into it. So let's go to the other extreme here. There we go, really hammered that one. I tried to get a big turn, probably got well past 90 on that one. That's what I want you to practice on the other one. So we're using that variability training to get a feel. Again, we're not trying to do it perfect. We're trying to get a feel for what's too much, what's not enough, and then we can improve it from there. So work on these variability drills, go out there, play great, guys, and best of luck practicing your golf game this winter. All right, guys, hope y'all really enjoyed this video. If you did, I got an awesome bonus for you. We all want lots of lag in our golf swing. It's so crucial to have tons of lag to be able to get that high club head speed and to be able to drive it past your friends. I'm gonna play a preview from one of my most important golf lag videos. If you're on a desktop device, you can go ahead and click the link that pops up on your screen. If you're on a phone or a tablet, you go ahead and click the iCard, and you're gonna get instant access to that video. Plus, you're gonna get instant access to 5 videos from our Top Speed Golf system. Good luck to you guys. Go out there and rip the ball. Hi guys, and welcome back. I'm Clay Ballard, and in today's video we're going to talk about one of the absolute worst drills for creating lag. It's a very common drill that I see, and in this drill what we're going to do is we're going to set the wrist very early to create an angle of lag, and then we're going to try to hold this throughout the swing. It's one of the worst things that you can do to build lag. I'm going to talk about the science behind why this is the case, and I'm also going to give you a great drill to help you improve your lag, all in this video. Let's go ahead and get started. If I do it this way versus holding that position, exact same thing happens when we're building lag in the golf swing. So what we want to do is throughout the swing, I want to have a very low and wide takeaway. So I'm not going to set my wrist early at all. If you look at a lot of the top players, you look at Adam Scott, very wide takeaway, not very much wrist set at all. You look at Rory McIlroy, you look at Tiger Woods. All these players are using a wide takeaway and not getting very much wrist set, so that later in the swing, as we start down, we can increase this wrist set, and we're really only going to max out this angle of lag for a split second in the downswing. Okay, so a 3-step drill here. Now, as we get started with this, I want to remind you that the fulcrum in this golf club for getting a massive amount of lag is right at the end of the golf club. This is where I want my hinge point to be.